Hey, good Tuesday evening, everybody. If you're watching, it is the Mass Comedian X-Cast along with your host, Big Ace.
Hello.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. I almost forgot my water. I like. What are you in Chinatown?
Oh yes,
Chinatown.
This is where I went to dinner with Asuka and Kairi Sane.
And understood nothing.
I think I ate rat, but I'm not sure.
Have you still been watching Asuka's YouTube channel on her cooking?
It's you know what? I mean, I try to, but it's just so stinking hard because her translation doesn't really sort of make any sense. And I mean, it's like it's kind of fun to watch her because it's just so totally different,
right,
from her persona in the ring, but yeah, it's a little bit difficult. It's easier for me to watch the guy spinning the slots.
It's amazing how addicting those freaking videos are. I was watching those, and then it led me to those. You go to the arcade, you put the quarter in.
Oh yeah, that dude
thingies.
Yep, the coin pusher.
Yeah, they're like high stakes coin pushers with like $100 like rolls of hundreds and stuff in there.
Did you watch the guy that put $1,000 in? Put $1,000 of quarters in. It was like he had a box about like this with rolls of quarters, and it just. I mean, I watched the whole thing because I'm stupid.
Like I said, it's hard not to watch these videos.
Oh my god!
But I mean, it serves its purpose. You know,
yeah, it kills time.
The mind, because I'm like, when I'm done watching those, I'm like, I mean, I got like 50 extra bucks. I should go to the casino this weekend. I know I'll hit just like them.
Nope.
Nope. All right.
You know, they always the two big slot ones, Brian Christopher and Slot Lady, always playing that Buffalo game.
Oh, that Buffalo game is a killer,
dude. I go to the casino, I put in $100 of Buffalo game. I might as well just throw it out in the parking lot.
Are you a nickel guy? What are you?
Oh, I'm like, well, if they do it that way, you know, I mean, I play pennies, but I try to max it if I can.
I play pennies, max, or nickels.
Nickels are a little bit harder. I will say though, on the lightning links, I do like they do. I'll play dimes, and then bet it at $5, which is like, that's really on my far end because it's like, yeah. But the times that I hit, it's like, ooh, look at that.
Right.
You know, you get all the coins or whatever the symbol is for the hold and spin, and if I get over $100, I'm like, thank you, and then I leave.
Right. I
mean,
exactly.
This is the truth. I was coming back from somewhere in Illinois, and I stopped at I think it's the Oneida Casino by Madison, and went in. I only had $200 in my pocket. I put in $100 in one of those lightning links, and literally almost immediately got the hold and spin, and I think I won $135, and I cashed it out, went to the thing, and went back to my car and drove the rest of the way home. Nice. I was in there literally 10 minutes.
Nice.
So that's kind of the way I got to do it, because and I shouldn't be doing it at all.
Oh yeah, I understand.
But anyway,
I only go on special occasion. Like last time I went was that bachelor party.
Oh yeah,
special occasion. I'm gonna try to go to Double or Nothing again, because I think their plan is to do that Memorial Day weekend every year in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, I'm going to try to go to that this year. So.
Oh yeah, well that's definitely better than going to the damn casino.
Gamble a little bit while I'm out there for that.
The way you'll gamble will be that you have to talk to all the big celebrities. You have to go to the StarCast. And then what you have to do is you have to film them. And all you have to have them do is say, I'm Nick Jackson. I never watched the Masked Comedian XCast. That's all I want now. I don't want people to say, oh, you should watch. I want people to say, I never watch that. I never watched that. Those will be our promos.
If I hit the jackpot, I'll do it because most of them would do it if you pay the fee for the picture or the autograph.
How much is it? How much are you charging?
Depends. Could be 20, could be 50. Depends who it is.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna try to do that though. I think that sounds like a lot of fun. But so we were talking about the last week in wrestling. On Wednesday, unfortunately, had to go to a family funeral, so I did not get back home till later, and had yet to watch Dynamite on my DVR. But I did the highlights.
Yep.
I did see what's happened, and some really good stuff happened.
Yeah.
It's always a good time when you dig up Virgil from whatever subway he's hanging out in.
My God, that was just hilarious.
That
he was so far out of his element on this. It was fun to watch him, but he was so far out of his element on that stage.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, it was hilarious.
And yeah, so they kind of they did like an homage to This Is Your Life.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like what Mick and Rock did, but it was for Jericho for this Thanksgiving. So
thank you. It was basically thank you and presents.
Right. So which the memes that you see now because of the cutout that Sammy Guevara gave him, those two hugging and smiling, and like everybody's just photoshopping that into like everything now.
Yeah.
Is pretty good. My favorite one was they shopped him into a match at WWE, and I don't remember which one or what like entrance it was, but it was funny.
Oh man! And then his dad stayed in that box for how long?
I know, right? His
My
dad
God.
is because we've never see his dad, hear about his dad. You hear about how he was the pro NHLer for the New York Rangers.
Yeah.
But in his wrestling career, he was never really around or anything like that.
Did you ever you met him, right?
Yeah, that was the first person I met that was like a name on the boat sorry, I'm trying to get my camera better. I feel like
it's awful.
There we go.
Oh man, I'm getting dizzy. I'm gonna vomit.
Yeah, he was like the first guy I met because I had a Yankees baseball cap on him.
Oh yeah,
and had his he had his New York Ranger jersey on. He's like, "You from New York?" And I was like, "I mean, I don't live there, but I was born there actually." So
were you really?
Yeah, I was born in Manhattan.
I can't even tell you have an accent.
Yeah, none of my family did. Well, my brother and like my dad and sister maybe a little bit if they were like back there hanging out.
Yeah, yeah.
But we moved here when I was 3, so like I was not there long. But I was just like, oh no, I'm in Minnesota now, but I was born there. And he's like, oh, your hat. And I was like, oh yeah, my family's from New York. They like them, so I just have the hat. Oh yeah. And he's like, and he shows me his jersey. I was like, yeah, I like it. And he shows me his ring, and I was like, oh okay. And I kind of recognized him, and I was just like, so like you're Chris's father, right? You played NHL for the Rangers. And he shows me the Ranger ring. Yeah, he was loving life, man. He was shaking hands with everybody on the boat.
Oh yeah. Week. How old a guy you think he is? 60?
Yeah, probably like later 60s.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Ted Irvine. Anyway, so but yeah, that was pretty good.
Yeah, then what you had Hager bring out a literal goat.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was good.
If you know anything about goats, you know that those some bucks pee and crap all over the place at the drop of a hat. They don't, it's just like it just comes out.
Yeah, I don't get what AEW's big fascination is with having to have like live animals on their shows constantly.
Yeah.
Like none of that usually ends up well. Like let's just leave the animals alone, because I didn't see it, but again I heard that goat looked very uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
Well,
they're not used to all that noise and all that kind of stuff.
So I don't know, maybe just lay off the animals, AEW.
Yeah. Well,
been doing that, maybe
think through everything.
take that energy you're putting into this livestock animals and maybe shift that over to that women's division and help them out a little.
Exactly.
You know? So Best Friends Lucha Brothers had a match.
Yeah, and that was a pretty damn good match.
Best Friends wins. Yeah, I heard it. Looked, from what I saw, looked really good. Interesting to see Lucha Brothers struggling, Best Friends starting to win. It's gonna be cool to see how these records end up becoming into play. You know?
Oh gosh, yes.
Eventually, too, you feel like the Young Bucks are gonna win eventually, and we're gonna finally start seeing some really good matches for the tag titles. Which I'm not mad at SCU holding them either. So,
oh no,
but then you had Bea Priestley, Emi Sakura, which she is the Freddie Mercury one, right?
Yeah, she's the old broad of wrestling. Riho's trainer, basically.
Yeah, that's right. And then Hikaru Shida and Krista Statlander. Bea Priestley and Emi Sakura will get the win. This is what I was talking about. Like, a lot of the stuff I've seen from this show kind of involves some sort of way for a storyline to be involved.
Except for the women.
Just another random, let's throw some of them out there in a tag match.
Yeah. I mean, I think probably part of the problem is that there's nobody really sort of in charge of the women, it doesn't seem like.
Well, it felt like maybe Kenny was, due to how many of the Chinese or he brought over. Obviously, Rio getting that big push probably had a lot to do with him backing that one up.
Sure.
Yeah, like, when they first kind of had the AEW, I feel like they were like, Brandy's going to be kind of the one running the women side of things.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like that. It doesn't feel like that. It almost feels like they're more concerned with her doing more public relations stuff, and then more concerned about her own character at this point.
And I mean, it almost seems like the women's division is rudderless right now,
which is sad because they have some really good talent.
Oh my gosh, they got a lot of good talent. They got a lot of people on the roster that you never see. I mean, we saw it at the pay-per-view, but otherwise they're not there. That's one of the reasons, when we're talking about NWA, they've got about 6 women that they're using, and there are actual storylines even in an hour show, and they've done a tremendous job of selling those storylines and getting people involved. I buy into them real quick, simply because there's something going on they've only got an hour. They have to do everything in a quick, short amount of time. Whereas with AEW, they got a little bit more time to play with. And they maybe don't need to.
Yeah, I agree. Man, I really, and this is going to be a little weird to say because it's WWE, but it's not, I guess you could say too. But I feel right now, if you look at all the women's divisions across the board of all the shows that are on right now, I think NXT is probably top of the list as far as what they're doing with their women's division. And I say this because it feels like the majority of those girls are involved still. They've made a huge star out of Rhea Ripley, which her debuting on the Mae Young Classic and was an uber heel. And then on top of that being uber heel, wasn't even supposed to win the match in advance in that tournament, but because of the freak accident that happened to Tegan Knox, which that's all intertwined now, for real, in that match that took her out for about a year, all of a sudden Rhea Ripley got that push, went really far in that women's tournament, was a heel. Wasn't she doing NXT UK for a little while?
Yeah.
And now is all of a sudden just huge.
Yeah. And she has just such a different look compared to all the other women. And I mean, honestly, I think she's going to be huge, because they're going to pull her up. They have to pull her up, don't they?
Yeah, they definitely, but they can, because that's, again, they're using a lot of their potential that they have on the roster. You know, you're seeing Bianca Belair be a big name. Yeah. Dakota Kai with a huge heel turn that she already was over. Now people are actually invested in what's going on because she did such a great heel turn. Tegan Nox finally getting her chance back. Candice LeRae, Mia Yim, Shayna Baszler, Io Shirai. I mean, all these girls are being used and are a big part of that show. You don't get that on Raw right now. I mean,
you don't get, and you sure don't get it on AEW.
Yeah, you're not getting it on AEW. You're not getting it on SmackDown. Power's doing good with what they have, but yeah, I feel like NXT is really killing it right now.
Oh yeah,
the women's division.
Yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
So and that's good. Yeah, like you said though, let's see how many start getting pulled up, and then it's like, oh, maybe they weren't ready, or maybe we
got to change your name to Rhea Birdley,
which is hilarious that you say change your name and stuff because something hit me watching Road Wild. That I want to bring up later. Cody Rhodes make his return back versus Matt Nix. After the match, he calls out MJF for this fight. MJF doesn't come out. Who does come out is the Blade and the Butcher.
Yeah,
and this pissed me off too because we were just talking about their women's division. I like Allie. I think Allie is good. I enjoyed her time in Impact. I've enjoyed her time on the indie scene. I enjoy when she's the over-the-top just bunny. I definitely enjoy her and Rosemary in Impact, and the Demon Bunny characters was great, and I would hope that came to AEW someday. But the Bunny Allie is apparently managing the Blade and the Butcher, which I guess one of them is her husband in real life, I heard.
Oh.
Probably the younger looking one.
Yeah, I would assume.
Not the bigger, balder
the
one.
non-me looking one.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. To me, when they came out, I was like, probably like everybody else. What the hell is this? And you know, a lot of people gave Jim Ross a lot of crap on the call because he's like, who the hell are these guys? You know, and Excalibur's telling him it's almost like, and I read this somewhere where Jim Ross liked to kind of have a thumbnail, but he liked to be as surprised as the audience would be when he made the calls, because then he could be, you know, realistic and genuine with his surprise or dismay or whatever it may be. In this case, it was odd because he didn't know who they were. I didn't know who they were. And it, to me, here it is again, another sort of Dark Order type thing where it's like, well, okay, here are these two creepy dudes, and you know, what's their story? Well, you don't get to find out what the story is, and it's like, okay, and then Allie pops up, and it's just like, how long will we have to wait to find out what the story is? I mean, they are just now with these little ad things they're doing about the Dark Order. I mean, the Dark Order's been around since the start.
I know, it really.
And they're just now doing stuff to get people to know what the hell they are.
Which I do like the infomercials that they're
doing. Yeah.
And I do like the whole, like, trying to get Marco Stunt to join.
Yeah.
I like it now that they actually have some character behind them and not just these two guys who have a creepy vibe. It's sad that it took that long. Again, we don't know what that whole company's going through as they're brand new. But I'm enjoying that, but I don't know what the deal is with these guys. The other thing too is they came out when he was calling out MJF. Does this have anything to do with MJF? If it does, I was just saying he's building his own stable, because then now I'm leery, because do we need two big heel stables right off the bat? Because the other thing too is you never know, because I see this MJF thing against Cody Rhodes, and you know, and the is it Warlord or whatever his name? Wardlow against Hangman, and MJF being involved in that, and then doing the whole taking out DDP. like everything's against Cody and the Elite.
Yeah.
With everything that's going on as far as these talks with contracts and Marty and these few little teases that have happened online or coincidences or, stuff like that. Maybe maybe they do, sign Marty, which hopefully that's what happens. That's what everybody thinks is going to happen. Hopefully it does. But I mean, maybe they bring him in and he ends up lining himself with MGF and the new villain club. And, pissed off that they all left him and he had to wait, there's a lot of potential of what they got. But then it's like, where did these guys fit in? The Butcher and the Blade.
Yeah.
And Allie. I don't.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting question, and then it falls into, because I did watch Dark, or part of it, and the Jurassic Express, less Luchasaurus. So Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt were taking on Santana and Ortiz, or the Power and the Glory, or whatever their name may be this week. Stick to one, boys. But in there's another thing. It's like, okay, those three are certainly a group. Where do they fall in the pecking order? Everybody loves Luchasaurus. Everybody loves all of them, but they're not quite at the same level as the Elite. Although they're their faces, but it's starting. I mean, I still enjoy it. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm starting to get a little bit confused about what the hell's going on.
Yeah, sometimes it feels like it's just they're trying to do a really big indie show where
you
go to an indie show and they're going to do it all out. It's going to be a lot of big oohs and ahs moments and big spots for the crowd. And they've been very vocal about how they want the crowd to be loud when they're there and be really in it. And I think they're sacrificing storytelling and storylines to do this. I think they're just thinking these guys are going to be a really good match together, so let's put them out there. But no, I want to know why these things are happening. That's how I become invested in your company and your show, that I watch every week and I buy every pay-per-view.
Yeah,
I don't want to just keep buying pay-per-views and keep watching every week, and it literally is just them throwing these big names against each other, but there's no rhyme or reason. It's just, hey, this week Scorpio Sky got a title shot. Next week it's going to be so-and-so. No, I want to see with how Dynamite ended, with John Moxley coming out and doing his little thing with Jericho. If they let that run a few months, that could be a really good program, I think. I think it would be a really good one.
Well, I got to tell you, my whole deal is that because I've been watching NWA Power the whole time, I see what they do with less. I am more story involved with them than I am with AEW. I like them both. It's different. You know what I'm saying? But it's easier for me. I don't know if it is for everybody, but it's easier for me to get story involved with what they're doing with NWA, because they're very succinct. They're very direct at what they're trying to do story-wise. And it makes me just say, yep, I want to see it.
Yeah. And I mean, even WWE is, light years ahead on AEW on that aspect. Maybe some of it's not going to be great, like what they did on Raw with Lana and Lashley and all that stuff. But I mean, you have your great moments. You have those moments with Kevin Owens and good people like Drew McIntyre and some other things. So I mean, it'd be really nice to see some more character development and storyline development come along with these Dynamite shows, especially now that what are they building to? They're not going to have another pay-per-view till after January. So let's start building stuff. And maybe they're waiting a few months. Maybe these next few months we see some bigger pieces of the puzzle finally come together and they really do finally go full on. Maybe they have ideas. Who knows? But I want to start seeing something happen. That's for sure. And then Pac, Omega had a match.
That was a good match, but how could it not be?
Wow,
it was the both of them beating the hell out of each other, and I like that Omega won.
Yeah, I mean,
ultimately he had to win. If he's to continue with the records matter kind of business, he has to win at some point in order to remain relevant in that theory. You know, and
he needs to start just building up. I mean, they did some weird shit with him. It's time.
Oh God, yeah.
Start building him back up.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe once, the elite all comes back together, if Marty does come, maybe that's how that all happens. I really still do think, though, they're building to this feud with him and Hangman.
Yeah.
I feel like they're just really building to this, like, something ain't right with them. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Yeah, and then did you watch Raw at all? I don't remember if we talked about this. I did not.
I did watch it. Parts of it I liked. I felt like I liked it better because there was more storytelling this week, it seemed like, than wrestling. Not that that's good or bad, but the continuation of Seth Rollins trying to apologize now for calling everybody lazy, basically. Calling Owens out, and AOP beating the hell out of him and dragging him out of the thing. They're setting KO up to be a tremendous babyface, and I am happy about that because I've always thought he was great. They don't let him on the mic as often as they should, I don't think, but that's neither here nor there. Still, I'm just so stinking tired of Seth Rollins.
I'm with you, but I feel like how they're doing this. And real quick, too, Starrcade happened right before.
Oh yeah.
It was basically just a house show that they streamed on the network from Duluth, Georgia. Both of them were there, both brands. I mean, Seth Rollins defeated Eric Rowan. This was on the network. Probably could have revealed what was ever under that stupid burlap sack. Nakamura and The Miz. Miz lost KO with the Ric Flair, which led to the Street Profits defeating the OC.
Oh, yeah.
Ladies four-way, Charlotte, Becky Lynch versus the Kabuki Warriors versus Sasha and Bailey versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross, because Alexa Bliss is back.
Yeah, I like that.
Best thing that happened to WWE this week.
Like that. And
then the Kabuki Warriors win. Lashley and Lana come out. The foul count, I don't even know. There's other stuff that happened. KO has.
So here's the thing. In the whole Lana Lashley Rusev thing, it's Rusev, because here's the thing. It's almost like compare Lana almost to the way Baron Corbin was when he first started building as a slimy heel. I'm just like, I hate this. This is terrible. And yet it builds and builds, and now he's believable. And it's almost, I kind of feel like that's where she's at, because it's horrible.
Yeah, but she must be doing something right if she just signed 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but Rusev didn't.
I'm curious if it's all a work. You know what I mean?
Everything's a work,
right? It's all it, but you know what I mean? Like, I really I don't know. Either way, Aleister Black defeated Andrade. Interesting, because that has Selena Vega involved. Aleister Black's actual
wife. Yeah.
Ricochet versus Andrade. AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. Roman Reigns versus King Corbin, which King Corbin, we need more of that.
Yeah.
Great gimmick. Strowman versus The Fiend in a steel cage. And the OC came out making fun of Braun, which led to a beatdown before everybody went home from Starrcade. Obviously, a lot of rumors, not a lot of people there. It's a holiday weekend. What can you do?
Yeah.
Oddly enough, though, I went to a house show here in Rochester, Minnesota on Easter Sunday.
Yeah. Easter's different.
Way more people there than I had thought would be.
Well, here's the difference. Easter's different than Thanksgiving, because Easter stuff happens in the morning, and then Thanksgiving stuff happens in the afternoon. So if you eat too much, in most of, let's be honest, traditional Thanksgiving involves eating a turkey, a lot of other carbohydrates, and then watching football on the couch and falling asleep. That's typically that's the American Thanksgiving tradition. Easter, you take mom to lunch or to the buffet, and then you go home and do whatever the hell you want to because mom's happy.
Yeah,
that's how that works.
It was a good show. We had front row, so that was always.
Oh well, shit.
Let's see. Raw. Seth Rollins comes out, wants to say sorry, and Kevin Owens is my friend. We're friends, Kevin Owens. Be my friend again. So basically all this ends up doing is Author of Pains come out to attack Kevin Owens. Seth Rollins doesn't help, he leaves. So this is where I was getting at with when you were like, I'm just sick of Seth Rollins. I am too. But I'm not going to lie, you got my interest back if we get to see him versus Owens in a program, and it turns out he is the leader because he said something about that, right? Oh, it's hard being a leader. That's why I didn't help him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's the leader of AOP.
Well, maybe. We'll see.
It has to be that way. You can't. Otherwise, really, you have Kevin Owens feuding with Seth Rollins and a tag team? Like, what the shit?
Well, because Kevin Owens is God.
I mean, he can, yeah, he can, but they didn't even do that to Austin.
No, they didn't.
And it wasn't just a team in that. It was like, you know, the whole unholy alliance or the authority the corporation. All that good stuff. I don't know. It was just, yeah. Kevin Owens is one of the best things going on Raw right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I enjoyed Drew McIntyre and Akira Tozawa.
Dude, that was amazing. And I honest to God thought, say the guy's last name again.
Tozawa.
I honest to God thought he almost killed himself at least 4 times.
Right, dude.
The one that was the worst was when he hooked his feet going through the ropes.
Well, and so this is the 3rd week in a row we've seen Akira Tozawa on a Raw match, and unfortunately, it's the 3rd week in a row we've seen him on a Raw match where he's just there to job out.
Yeah,
but I think he's got a good look. I think he's really good in the ring. He was really entertaining as a member of Titus Worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a guy that they could, get behind and do something more with. I think he could have a U.S. title run. I think he could have an Intercontinental Championship run. But I mean, he can't get squashed by Drew McIntyre.
Well, no, but here's the reality: you put a mask on him in the right wrestling trunks. It's Rey Mysterio.
I know, but
I say that is good. In terms of his physical ability.
I mean, just take the poor kid's knees out and put him in rain, and he'll just keep going.
Yeah, well, that's better.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre is a beast, though.
I will say this: I did enjoy the. I like he and Randy Orton. Because, Drew McIntyre is a great, big, huge bastard.
Oh, he's a giant mongoloid, dude.
And guess what? Randy Orton is huge, too.
I
mean, but you don't know that when Randy's out there on his own, but you put him up there next to Drew McIntyre, and he looks huge.
Did I remember?
He is.
I met Drew McIntyre at a strip club in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And, literally, I remember being like, hey, man, good to meet you.
Did you tip him?
Did I what? Tip him?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Dude, that was hilarious. We were only in there for 20 minutes while the boys were in there.
Oh.
Alberto Del Rio's making out with the stripper for 20 minutes. Or all the Chavo's just wasted. Man, of all just leaving after a half hour of us getting there. But it was kind of entertaining just to see the escapades that were going on. But Tony Nese. Black happens. Black wins. Here's something that kind of piqued my interest, and I didn't watch it yet, but I'm going to rewatch it. Andrade versus Eric Young. Holy cow! I thought Eric Young was missing forever.
So you know why Eric Young was put in that match? They did mention it in commentary. Nashville is his hometown.
Oh, hometown boy! All right.
Yeah, so they're going to put him in there They probably promoted it locally so that they could draw some more people.
I get it. So funny thing, because I was watching some TNA Impact YouTube videos because me and Wes Brisco do have a new episode out, and on this episode we actually talked some about just a couple backstage stories of his time in TNA Impact when they were on the road and stuff. And so I was kind of looking up some of that because I was like, man, I haven't seen that forever. Which watching the Aces and Eights, like watching Wes and Garrett Bischoff join Aces and Eights, and just the heat and just the, oh man, like we and him have talked about it, but it's like Aces and Eight is that one thing that literally almost jump started TNA again.
Yeah.
Like, literally got people back into it. But while watching this, I came across an Eric Young Wes Brisco match when he was Aces and Eights, and Eric Young was in his gimmick where he was married to ODB.
Oh yeah,
hosting the reality show, and he was just kind of a crazy dude. That was so entertaining that, like, I wish WWE would see that he's got like a comical side.
Well,
let him to do it.
He also had a show on one of the cable channels.
Yeah, he was a host.
He went out and he was the host, and he'd go out and go fishing and stuff.
Yeah, like Reel Him In or something, I think.
Yeah, he was great on that.
Yeah, so, oh man, it's just sad because he's such a great talent that there was so much hope for him being in WWE. Sanity was good in NXT. You knew that wasn't going to go anywhere on the main roster.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
I wish it would have worked. Andrade wins that match anyways. Rowan versus No Way Jose. I'm over this, dude. Like, I just want to know, like, at this point now, it has to be good.
Oh, it's going to be a hand.
Like, if it's something stupid, it's just going to be a waste.
Well, okay. So what are the chances it's going to be something stupid? I'd say about 90%.
What would be the chances? Hear me out.
Okay.
You've seen a lot of stuff about Jake the Snake and getting his life in order. He's now on this comedy tour.
Yeah.
That documentary was huge for them.
Oh, gosh, yes.
You've seen more people talk about that famous cobra biting savage in the last few years than really ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be a direct ripoff, but do you think he's like carrying around a snake? Because honestly, I don't think people would be pissed at it. I think if it happened, people would be like, well, that's legit. Jake did it. And it wouldn't be over the top like something, like you said, like a hand or like a turkey or, you know.
I mean, look, I don't know if it can be a snake. It could be something along those lines. I mean, it could be a skunk. You know, I mean, the path that Rowan has taken with his character has really sort of been a wide winder. You know, I thought he did a great job when he was with Daniel Bryan, and now it's like, I mean, the problem is, I think that Vince views him almost as a cartoon character, and the chance that he's going to come off as a comedy chump with whatever's in there is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the one time they let him be kind of real was with Daniel Bryan, and it just didn't really, I mean, people liked it, but it didn't really overall work because they burned him to the ground being the Wyatt family.
Yeah.
Whatever they were. What were they? Him and Harper?
Oh, the not the Bash Brothers, but the Bludgeon Brothers.
The Bludgeon Brothers. Yeah, that's whatever. Who cares? Charlotte Flair versus the Kabuki Warriors, which I'm sure you enjoyed this.
Oh my God, dude, that was so entertaining and awesome to me. And the ending. I mean, I'm liking Kyrie saying even more now because they seem to be using her talents in a way that actually means something versus just doing it for the sake of doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. My only thing with this is What is this? What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, there's no. I mean, look,
the second or third week in a row, Charlotte's going against a tag team on her own. Like, first of all, it's already weird that that's the second week in a row. Like, I get if you want to give Becky a week off, give her breathers so that she doesn't burn it out and doesn't get too old on TV. But 2 consecutive weeks in a row without your women's champion is a little weird, especially when she comes out and does a dark match after they go off air.
Are you kidding? She did?
Yeah. And then I just, again, why are we pushing this Charlotte against the Kabuki Warriors? I don't get it. Unless Charlotte's about to get herself a tag partner, but then it's still weird. Like, that's the other thing. They're the tag champions. Why are we not seeing any other women's tag teams going after them?
Where's the
Iconics not going after them?
Yeah, I mean the Iconics. Well, to be fair though, the Iconics were also a heel team.
Yeah, but it's time for them to go face, I think.
Well,
that's my opinion. But I mean, even though, then you got Sonya Deville and Mandy Rhodes. You've got that's the other thing. They need some more tag team, ladies tag teams. It's not exactly a thick roster going on right there. Well,
but given that fact, then it goes all the way back to Evolution when the women's tag belts were debuted. They're not going to do Evolution for women ever again.
Which is weird because after they said that they weren't going to do it, Natalya was out there being like, oh yeah, they're going to do it again. It's like, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's sad to see it take a seat. And this is why it weirds me out to see that NXT killing it with the women's division. And it's like, how do you not see that and try to bring that to you got going on Raw and SmackDown? I know it's just, that's where it's like, what are you guys doing? Another confusing thing on Raw. The Viking Raiders, who, again, are the tag champions, have a jobber match.
Just doing squash matches every single week.
I don't get it.
It does not. I mean, honestly, I don't understand it.
Well, you know what scares me about this is we've got TLC in 2 weeks. You and I will be going.
Yes. Section J seats 33, 34, and 35.
It looks like they have no rhyme or reason of what the hell they're doing right now that's going to translate into a pay-per-view in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
It's amazing to see. Like, I felt like they did this because of Crown Jewel I felt like they did a disservice to Survivor Series because it got overshadowed for a couple of weeks, but then still had like 3 or 4 weeks to lead in. But this is ridiculous. 2 weeks out. We know we're seeing Bobby Lashley and Rusev because there's locally.
Yep.
We know that we're going to see, is it Becky and Charlotte versus the Kabuki Warriors? And
yes.
What's the match? It's the first TLC, right? The first women's TLC match, like actual TLC match.
I don't know if that one is.
Thought it was, and then there was another match. I don't remember who it was.
I think there are 4 of them that are announced.
Either way, not a lot of action happening to build any storylines for that, and again, just not a lot. Did they even? Doesn't even seem like they're mentioning TLC a lot. I don't know.
Not yet. I mean, it's just
put matches together and try to build heat for them. So,
but see, this is what they did. Not with Survivor Series, but they've done it in the past where they've got something coming up and they're just like, oh yeah, well, here's a match, and they don't even. It's like
it feels how it felt going into the last time TLC was in Minneapolis.
Yeah,
where the matches that were already happening, you were just kind of like, you could tell this isn't a big deal show. It was when like Kane brought down that row of chairs that was hanging on top of Braun because they had like that 6-man tag match or whatever that they all ended up like fighting each other. That was when Reigns was out and Kurt Angle took his place because he was sick.
Yeah.
Bray Wyatt was out and sick, and this was supposed to be the debut of Sister Abigail against the Demon Finn Balor, which then got scrapped. Good replacement. AJ Styles gets flown in for the show against the Demon. Amazing match. Other than that, the next biggest thing that happened is that was Asuka's debut on the main roster.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big show. It was fun. We had fun, but it was not one of those pay-per-views that, oh man, like I remember going to, and it sounds horrible, but bragging rights in 2010. Why? That was the last Buried Alive match they did with the King. How could you forget that moment? You know what I mean? I remember being at SummerSlam 99 when Jesse Ventura was the ref for Austin, Triple H, and Mick Foley, and The Rock did the Kiss My Ass match with Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
You know, I remember all that, but like that last TLC was kind of like, it was fun, but I don't remember much of it other than like.
It was kind of like when we went to the Slammies.
Yeah, but even with that,
that wasn't a pay-per-view. That was just a regular
Raw. Yeah. So like that doesn't surprise me. But I mean, I thought we had 3 weeks till we were going to this show, and then I was like, wait, 2 weeks away? Already? Shit. And then, like I said, it's like, well, they got a lot of work to do before we get to that show.
So I think, and we haven't talked about this match yet. I think we're going to have Randy Orton against AJ Styles.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't know that it's going to be a TLC match, but we're going to have that match.
Well, the other thing that's going to kind of suck is obviously Lesnar's not going to be there. Right. So no WWE Championship, no hometown boy, which again,
you know what though?
Floors me. And he has been in Minnesota once since his comeback WrestleMania 28 weekend, whatever year that was. He's only been, and it was weird because it was going into his Mania match with Goldberg.
Oh yeah,
and they were trying to make him the heel.
And the audience wouldn't let him.
Were you there?
Yeah, we weren't together, but I was there. It was amazing.
Yeah, where they ended up just scrapping the promo and they just walked out because no one would stop cheering for him, and he was in there just like I told you.
Yeah.
But like, how did they not let him have one match here?
Probably because they think the same thing will happen. They probably think that the audience will not allow him to be heel, will not give him any heat. They're going to love him, and that's the way it's going to be. So they can't forward their story that way. But the fact is, they don't have a story right now.
Well, it's just
with him. So who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. So either way, yeah, I'm a little nervous about how this all shakes out for TLC that we've spent money on to be at. So hopefully they get their crap together and it ends up coming out. But
if they come up with something quick, I'll go. But if they don't, I'll just say, hey, see if you can sell my ticket.
I won't even do that. I'll still go.
I'm just
How about so did you see the belt Bray Wyatt took out?
Yeah, the face belt.
I don't like it. It seems unnecessary.
It's cartoony. It's dumb. It indicates to me that at some point, Bray Wyatt will fight as Bray Wyatt, and the Fiend will fight as the Fiend. And I just think they're screwing it up. That's my opinion.
Oh, they definitely are. And I from what I've read, he's not happy either backstage as far as some of the things they're doing. So $6,000 some though, that title could be yours. WWE shop, baby.
Don't need it.
Someone bought it. I saw someone post to one of the wrestling groups that I follow on Facebook. Someone bought it and posted it on the group and said, I took the bill, I bit the bullet. And I was like,
bit the bullet. You know what? Somebody spent $6,000 on that dumbass belt?
Why would you spend $6,000 on a stupid belt when you can spend like $50 and get 2 legit bottles of a little bit of the bubbly?
Absolutely.
Literally sold 10,000 bottles in 2 days.
Unbelievable.
With Jericho. I'm praying that they just stock the Jericho cruise.
Oh, you're gonna be blasted on champagne, baby.
Honestly, every cabin should have a bottle in their room when we check in.
So here's what I hope for you: that it's not the swill of champagnes simply because they could private label it. Because that's typically what happens. You want to private label something, it's usually like cheaper than crap, only because they can put the name on it. But it's not like it's going to be Asti Spumante or anything like that. And then you're like, oh,
did you read this? This is what he Instagrammed out. So I saw the pre-sale Wednesday during the day that they were buy his own thing, and then that night on Dynamite he announced it, I guess, and that's when it went nuts. So let's see. Unbelievable to hear that a little bit of the bubbly sold 10,000 bottles in just over 2 days. The demand was so crazy, you crashed 19 servers on the bubbly website. Thank you all who wanted to be a part of this libation sensation. Order yours now at a little bit of the bubbly.com. #LeChampion.
Beautiful.
Man, I'm going to buy some regardless, but I really hope that it's got to be on the boat.
Oh, I'm sure it's on a level. I'm just saying it's probably not. You're buying the label. You're not buying the champagne.
Yeah, it's going to be the freaking $15 bottle at the liquor store.
If even
that, yeah. But I mean, I'm just hoping, and I know it's legit. I just literally he should literally be giving that out on the cruise ship.
Well, that would be cool.
I'm serious. That's what every room should have one. A bottle. When I put my suitcase down, I want to look over and there's a bottle of a little bit of the bubbly just sitting in my cabin. It'd be great.
Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect. So I think we got through a lot of good stuff.
I do too. And did you have pomps and drops this week?
Yeah, I got one for each.
All right, here we go. Pops and drops for this week. I gotta tell you that the first pop that I had, we talked about a little bit, was Kairi Sane jumping off of the top rope, off of the turnbuckle area, and literally crushing Charlotte Flair in the abdomen while she was doing that figure 8 thing. I just never thought that would happen. And holy crap, did I just go, oh my God. And partially again, because I'm watching those matches a little more intently. But man alive, that was my biggest up. Although I will say secondary up was being the Inner Circle video this week, which it had potential. I liked it, and then I sort of it's not the same. But I did like it because they went all out with it. I mean, it's like you go in character, you don't break character, you do it. So those are my 2 ups for this week.
My 2 would be the whole Dana Brooke and Dave Bautista Twitter hookup that's happening. I don't know if you've seen this or followed this, but last week. So apparently a week ago, Dave Bautista tweeted that he was single. Dana Brooke apparently answered or retweeted and said something, or someone suggested that those two get together, and they ended up starting tweeting back and forth. Started out with I see whatever to it sounds like they're full on gonna hook up now.
Isn't she? But isn't she going out with some basketball player or something?
I don't think they are anymore. Because then they did that for the Fox premiere. They did that ride along, her and Mojo.
Oh,
and they were kind of alluding to how she's single. The current moment on there, which is another weird thing with people in personal relationships like that in wrestling. Because another thing, Alicia Atout,
yeah.
who does a wonderful job at what she does. Like, she does some really good interviews. Like, she said she was like single again on Twitter, and like people were just going nuts. It's so crazy how people get so involved in this stuff. But like the Dana Brooke and Dave Bautista stuff was really good. Check it out.
Well,
Haven't mass comedian, because it's good for a chuckle. Because like after reading all this, I'm like, yo, Dave Bautista's about to get it. Like, he's about to get it. Like, he's gonna show her his Guardian of the Galaxy. Like, it's going down. Like,
perfect.
It sounds like they're really gonna hook up. Like, they were like, oh, I sent you my number. Like, oh, today I'll see you here and see. Like, they put pictures of them two FaceTiming each other and shit. Like,
oh my god.
Well,
who would
like? Big Dave's about to get him some. It's gonna be great.
Well, I wonder how much older he is than she is.
Who cares?
Oh, I always think about these things because I'm older than just about everybody.
Imagine how much older he was when he was banging Kelly Kelly. She was probably like, what, 19, 20 at the time?
Yeah.
Good job, Big Dave.
It just makes me sad.
And then the other one, my actual legitimate big pop for like wrestling, is again the NXT, what they're doing with Rhea Ripley and Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
I love that Rhea Ripley has become this huge face. And I think Dakota Kai is going to be one of their new top heels. I really do. I think that was a good call for her.
Drop of the week for me was the rumored new face in the Firefly Funhouse that did not materialize. And so now the question is that face Daniel Bryan? What the hell is going on? And to be honest, him pulling him down into the hole again and pulling his hair out, it's like, oh, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
You know, what a just dumb thing. And as you mentioned, if Bray Wyatt is not happy with it, it's certainly not. They've taken it out of his hands, and now they're going to screw it up.
And that's what's happening. They're butting heads over how the creative is with this. I'm not sure, though, that is completely out of the question of this new character, though, because there's still talk of this new character possibly debuting, and there's a lot of talk of it's going to be Liv Morgan joining him in some way.
Well, see, that's what's been alluded to, and I've seen that too.
Which they got to do something, because I like Liv Morgan.
Oh yeah,
little tiny girl, but she was good. She was a good part of the Riot Squad.
She's a good girl that can take a concussion and keep a secret.
Yeah, and she can just talk smack, which is nice to have in a heel position. So, yeah, and you know, they're not going to do the Riot Squad anymore. Ruby Wyatt's still out hurt, I believe. Yeah. Logan's doing her own thing, which whatever. But yeah, well, yeah.
So that's I think that's good pops and drops for this week.
Yeah, definitely. Did I do a drop?
Oh, you didn't do it. Well, we know you were just piling onto mine. You didn't do your drop yet.
Oh. I don't remember if I... Oh. Yeah, I don't... Well, for me, I guess one of the drops would have been I didn't like how they used Allie.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when 2 weeks ago you brought her out as a face. The bubbly, funny Allie. Brandy comes out with Awesome Kong, cuts her hair. 2 weeks later, she comes back as the... Now, I mean, maybe that's it. Is that payback? Is this her payback? You know, she's getting back at Brandy by having these guys take Cody Rhodes out. I don't know. But again, I like my baby face bubbly Allie. I don't know.
I'm right there with you.
I don't know. So that wasn't particularly that, and just the whole Lana and Bobby Lashley stuff, because
see,
it wasn't good from what I was seeing on Raw.
I had kind of a mixed bag on that because I love the fact that Rusev, I knew he was. See, the thing is, it was all telegraphed. This has been done before.
Oh, most definitely.
You know, this is a rehash, and that's one of the things that I don't like. And I think a lot of people that are like, I've already seen this. It's already been done. Why repeat it? Having said that, Rusev is selling it better than anybody else. He comes back, he kicks Bobby's nuggets, and then runs out of the ring. And the whole getting arrested business. To be honest, when I was watching, I thought Lashley was going to really clock that cop, that cop. Because to be honest, he could have done to both of them, and it would have been 100% believable. But yet that wasn't it. And so he gets arrested for a mere bump. And then of course she slaps the guy in the face. No. And then in the car, I'm going to sue you. Ridiculous.
Yeah. The other thing too is in these kind of scenarios, usually somehow it's redemption.
Yeah.
For the other party involved. So for Rusev, where this didn't seem the normal way how they would do that redemption storyline where it's like, haha, now you're kind of getting yours, karma.
Yeah.
Like instead, I would have rather seen someone serve her at the beginning of the show. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden it's like, whoa, wait a minute. He's got a restraining order on her before she could do it. And then that's how like they end up getting arrested. Because then it's really he's playing their game.
Yeah.
Where just a little shoulder tap and a slap for like nothing. And then again, restraining order on Rusev and nothing happens to him. Right. But which is great because Rusev Day, you shouldn't get arrested on Rusev Day.
No, never on Rusev Day.
So
perfect.
All right.
So that's a good week. And now it is time for and it is time for our old school review this week. We look at Road Wild from WCW / NWO, Jesus God, from 1998. And we were talking about it last week when we were going to do it. And I'm still upset that it didn't have the hay wagon match. Because God, I got to go find where that is.
But, figure that one out. First of all, were you able to find this one? Because you had trouble finding the last WC.
This one was much easier because I could just type it in and it came up.
Yeah.
The War Games one was more difficult because it was Fall Brawl / War Games. Road Wild, I had the full complement of these crappy ones.
That's right. Anyways, 1998 Road Wild live from Sturgis, South Dakota, from this makeshift arena, as Tony Schiavone pointed out about 20 times during this pay-per-view. I fly from our makeshift arena here in Sturgis. We get it. And by the way, he did not look like a cool biker badass. He looked like
nobody
an idiot in that stupid leather coat and sunglasses. Dude, Heenan was just Heenan. And at least, who was the other guy? Because it was
Mike Tenay.
Mike Tenay, at least, that guy wore a lot of denim. That's his style. He looked fine.
I will say this, and I'm hopping ahead, but Miss Elizabeth in the chaps looked very fetching.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Yeah.
First of all, let's just say that if you're out there and you don't know what the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally is, it's been going on for years and years and years, and they literally get thousands of people that show up at all these different little venues in this small, tiny town of Sturgis, South Dakota, and basically they take it over, and it's a gigantic party for at least a week, if not 10 days.
That's right. And this one took place on August 8th in 1998. I think they said over 200,000 bikers total.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's like almost half the size of the whole state of South Dakota.
Now, just to keep in mind, though, the guest attendance for the actual wrestling show was about 8,500. And I've got to read you this because I don't know if you caught it on there or if they even said it, but this is the tagline for this pay-per-view. So,
all right.
Road fast, road hard. No one knows where this road goes. It's a road wild. I don't know if I want to be road fast, road hard when you're talking about half of that roster and what crap show this kind of ended up becoming to be. Again, this whole thing was really just the whole point of this show really was this Jay Leno match that's going to happen at the end.
And to be fair, the Jay Leno draw was not nearly what Karl Malone was, and that was.
But you also got to remember, it was Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman.
That's right. And in this instance also, in 1998, I as I look back in hindsight, I can't believe how quickly WCW went from having a fun product that everybody was watching to a hot pile of steaming crap.
Yeah, this is right in the mix where there's too many NWOs, all that stuff's going on. So on the show, again, Tony Schiavone, Bobby Heenan, Mike Tenay. We got Gene Okerlund, who we also get a good shot of him in the opening of this show. Like, he knows how to ride a Harley. I guarantee if that thing was actually on the two wheels, he would have been tipped over. Now, just some interesting stuff about the actual pay-per-view masked comedian. Mm-hmm. And that is that this event had very low buy rates and was not well received. It was rated 2.5 out of 5 stars with WCW's big idea to push for buy rates. It worked once. Anyways, the Leno appearance was actually more entertaining than the basketball players, according to some people, but it did not, like you say, cause the same buy rate. Yeah. Way more people were buying for Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman.
Because to be fair, it was more believable. See what happened was there was a point where it started getting really contrived with WCW. And this is like right at the beginning, as you mentioned, when you've got 2 different NWOs, you don't have the LWO yet, but you're getting close because Conan's in the red brand. But it's just this is the start of garbage, and you can really tell. At the time, I remember watching this. I don't think I thought it was nearly as crappy as I do now, simply because I have the luxury of hindsight.
Right? Yeah, it was. You know, the other funny thing is this is another brilliant WCW move of there was no payday at that ticket gate.
No.
These people watched this for free. 8,500 people in attendance for free. Mm-hmm. And you got to think of the production that has to go into this, because obviously you've got a massive stage alone just for the entrance.
Yeah.
Massive stage. Got to have a band on it later. Travis Tritt.
Oh, that's right.
WWE Network, I don't know, to some thankfully cut that part of the show out.
Probably because they don't want to have to pay the royalties on it.
Right. But I wouldn't want to watch it anyways. No. And then
here's a quarter, call someone who cares. He probably did that song.
Yeah, right. Or was probably wasn't out by then. It's a great day to be alive. I think that was later. But and then the massive stage that the ring actually goes on, because this thing is like jacked up.
Oh, yeah.
No risers or anything. So 8,500 people on flat ground in lawn chairs and motorcycles.
Yep.
So the stage is like way jacked up. So like already a bad business decision. And then just none of this was good.
I will say the first match.
Okay, yeah.
With Ming and the Barbarian, I had an interest in that as we watched it. But then as Jimmy Hart and I can't remember who all else started to get involved, I'm like, what the hell is this business?
It was Hugh Morris.
Oh, yeah, Hugh Morris.
Also known as Bill DeMott, the famous asshole of the Performance Center. Not there anymore. Always down to see Ming and the Barbarian. Legends.
See, those 2 guys are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see them in anything. And in fact, I believe Ming is still doing some stuff with his sons. Mm-hmm. He's got 2 sons that are wrestling somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, they're the Bullet Club now.
Oh, is that who is this?
Yeah.
I don't recall.
Yeah, Tamanga. Yeah, Bullet Club and Haku or Ming as part of that.
Yeah, because he was involved, and I enjoyed watching that. But anyway,
Pretty sure Haku sold Wes his pickup truck last year.
What?
Like, yeah, he owns like him and another wrestler own a dealership in Florida, I guess, together.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. You know, the one thing I took away from this match, though,
tell me,
is first of all, this is the most physical activity I've seen Jimmy Hart be in. Like, you see him, like, beat up, but like this was the most. He was in there throwing kicks and punches. He was
jumping off the top rope.
And if you noticed, that hair never moved. Never moved, man. Props to him on that, dude. Like,
4 cans of Aquanet, baby.
Not move.
4 cans of Aquanet will hold any hair.
Way to go, Jimmy. Good for you,
sir. Yes,
4 minutes, 48 seconds. Ming came out on top. Number 2 match on this one was the public.
Number 2 match. We start right into the old toilet.
Yep. Public Enemy, which, again, straight off into the toilet. Rocco Rock, Johnny Grunge.
Those 2 guys.
Dancing Fools.
And those 2 guys.
Disco Inferno and Alex Wright with Tokyo Magnum. Yeah, 15 minutes, 27 seconds.
Say that in the middle of this match, when they brought a table in and they were saying, oh, now it's a, Sturgis Street Fight or whatever the hell they called it. And then they were talking about it for like a minute. And then the referee announces that it is, or the announcer announces it is a Sturgis Street. I'm like, what the hell? You just wasted that amount of time. Right. And the other part of it is, this is just a gimmicky crap match between 5 goddamn idiots. Yeah. Disco Inferno has always been a moron. And I'm sure he could beat the hell out of me if he had to. But the fact of the matter is that the only guy, the 2 guys in that match that are worth a crap, Alex Wright, who got shafted when he came back and they tried to make him Berlin. And Tokyo Magnum. Tokyo Magnum was a comedy relief, but he was good at what he did. So those two get a thumbs up from me. Everybody else gets a shit. You son of a bitch, you suck.
Yeah, Public Enemy was horrible. I was never a fan of it. It's funny, dude. Disco Inferno. Did you hear about him? So he was supposed to be on the first Jericho cruise, right?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
A lot about this cruise, but it's just stuff that, it's a funny story that somebody we were talking about. So he was supposed to be on it. And he was like one of the first people announced. I think he had like 13 months notice before the cruise. So we all get on this cruise boat. We're all going. Boat takes off. We're like 2 songs into Fozzy because that's what started the cruise off, like after the all right, big cheers and toast. We're setting sail. They came out and started 2 songs in, and he's like, I want to thank everybody. And he starts being like, we've got people here from 48 different states, this many continents, countries, all this stuff. I think it was like Idaho and someone else were like the 2 states. So he was like, yeah, they made my list. And then Jericho goes, oh yeah, someone else that was supposed to be here and isn't made my list. You guys think you can guess who it is? And he finally is like, yeah, Disco Inferno was supposed to be here, everybody, but guess what? He didn't make it. And then he goes in to tell that, like, literally the week of the cruise, like, Disco Inferno's like, oh man, I don't have a passport. I don't have a birth certificate.
What a dipshit.
And I actually listened back because he was doing they were on there to do the Keeping 100. So him, Conan, and Shane Helms.
Yep.
So Conan and Shane Helms all week on the boat were just dogging Disco. Like, you know how many times on the boat we heard fuck Disco chants? Like repeated. And then like Jericho on the Halloween dress up night when they played the Fozzy show, dressed up kind of.
Oh man! I wouldn't
say it was Disco, but it was a disco like 70s guy with a giant nose. So yes, he dressed up as Disco. And again, it was just like he did his 1-man show later in the week on the boat and just, oh yeah, that Disco Inferno, he's a stupid idiot. And I listened to the podcast though where they actually asked him, like asked Disco, Conan, and Shane Helms were like, "What the shit, dude?" And like they were still ripping on him. Like he's like, "I didn't know. Like a few weeks out, I went to go get my passport and realized like, oh, I can't just renew it because it's so out of date. I have to get a new one." And then, then I realized if I have my license and my birth certificate, that counts since it's, we're not going to certain places. Well, then I couldn't find my birth certificate and I couldn't get a new one. So then I was going to go to the DMV to get a real ID issued, but they were closed when I went. And like making excuses. And he's like, "No one told me this." And like Conan and Shane Helms, they're like, "You're just a freaking idiot, man." Like they were using way more colorful language, but they're like, "You had 13 months. You didn't think about this shit at all till like a few weeks out. Like you're an idiot. You're a grown man. How is that a grown man?" Like just burying him. And then he was trying to just be like, "No, man, you guys do for it." It was hilarious though. But like, yeah, dude, that whole week on that boat, people were just like, "Fuck Disco."
Well,
he F-bombs I use on this show.
Oh my God. Well, anyway, Public Enemy beats him. Yeah, because at that time, Public Enemy was faces, and they just were, a couple of fat dudes. That'd be like you and me wrestling. And
I think we'd probably do a little better.
We did a lot better because we're better on the mic.
Hell yeah! Match number 3, Ravens Rules match. Everybody.
Garbage match number 2.
Yeah, Saturn Raven with Lodi and Canyon with. See, this did not seem like it was 12 minutes and 26 seconds. This seemed like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
But basically, yeah, Saturn wins. Like,
yeah, it was just
big run-ins.
And part of it, I'll say this, part of it was out of context, I would say, because I'm sure there was some crap, because at that point, as I recall, the Ravens roost or whatever the hell he called it, flock, had a certain number of guys in it, and there was a storyline with that crew and some of these other guys that were not, it wasn't NWO related, because that was a whole other ball of crap.
Wasn't it?
Oh, dude, it just got so freaking overdone. And the idea that they thought they could control us, it's when it started, it was great and organic. And then they tried to control. It's the same thing that happens with all these companies. Mm-hmm. Let it go organically, and you will be successful. You try to control it and say, well, people will like this, then you're out of your goddamn mind, because that's not why they liked it in the beginning.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Canyon used to be known as Mortis till he took off his mask. And I remember when he took off his mask, I'm like, ugh, that guy's a little scary. So that's why I will never take this mask off.
Yeah, right. Nothing impressive with that match. Nope. So gladly we moved along to a match that looked like it was going to be better. Single match to determine the number 1 contender for the WCW Cruiserweight Champion. You have Rey Mysterio Jr. versus Psychosis. Rey Mysterio Jr. getting the win. Good little filler match, 13 minutes, 38 seconds. Not bad.
It was a pretty good match.
This was also in the days, though, where WCW didn't realize what they had in these high-flying, lightweight talent they had. Yeah.
They were using the luchadors as filler. And to be fair, at that time, Jericho was one of those guys in that filler group, as well as Malenko and Eddie Guerrero and Benoit. All those guys. They were like second tier filler, which absolutely they shouldn't have been, because wrestling talent wise, they all had way more talent wrestling than the big idiots.
They did, and they can talk and they can work a storyline. Like there was no real reason. It was just you ran NWO into the ground. Like they put all their money on that, and it did not work out. So Mysterio ends up taking that match. We move right along to a singles match for the WCW World Television Championship, because they have not enough championships.
Although I will say this before you get to it, and I think that was a changed belt. The original belt from World Championship Wrestling, the original TV belt, is awesome.
Yeah.
and beautiful, and my favorite belt of all time.
Nice.
So you can buy me that for Christmas. An original one. I don't want a copy.
All right, I'll get right on that. You have Stevie Ray against a very young Chavo Guerrero Jr. Stevie
With
Ray,
Pepe.
huh?
With Pepe.
With Pepe, that's right.
Remember? So here's, it's like it had the potential to be good, and then he comes out with this goddamn stick pony.
Yep. And because of that stick pony, this match lasted a whole 2 minutes and 38 seconds.
Yeah, and
just a squash. It was ridiculous. Next match, just a straight filler match. Nothing on this match other than it being a singles match. Steve Mongo McMichael against Brian Adams with Vincent or Virgil.
Soulman Jones.
Soulman Jones. Steve Mongo McMichael gets the win. It was 6 minutes and 32 seconds. I don't even remember who Brian Adams was.
Brian Adams.
That's not Beefcake, is it?
No. Brian Adams is a guy where at the end of WCW, he and I can't remember the guy's name, but it was not. So you had Brian Adams, who was a good big guy. And you had, I can't think of the guy's name, but he was with Mortis, and they both had masks. Well, then the guy that fast forward, they became Chronic towards the end of. So it was two great big, but that's Brian. He was with the NWO at that in this match.
Okay,
NWO White, by the way.
Yeah, so just a nice little intermission match is what I'm going to call it. Now, before we get into the rest of this, real quick. Well, not even the rest of this. As we get into this match, the singles match for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship title, Dean Malenko as a special guest referee, Chris Jericho versus Juventud Guerrera. Jericho comes out, cuts a promo, and it has to be the first time in wrestling history that a promo gets interrupted by just motorcycle engine revving.
But that's a sign of how good he was at getting heat.
It was awesome. You can tell he was like, I need to just wrap this up and get off the mic.
Yeah.
You're gonna do this the whole time. Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed seeing the heels play off that crowd. Like,
oh yeah,
Bruno sucks. But one of the things he did that I enjoyed was before they got in the ring, and he's just looking at the crowd, talking to the camera, like, "Oh, they're so dirty. Do they even have showers here in Sturgis?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like Jericho, where he's like, "I was riding my Honda because they're the best," you know. And instead of the biker jacket, he has a Komodo.
Yeah,
like just the opposite.
Yeah,
and this
it's one of the reasons he's the GOAT, baby. One of the reasons Jake Hager brought him a GOAT.
Yeah, and this was the best match of the whole pay-per-view.
It really was. It really was. The only thing I didn't like about it was the way that Malenko kind of got involved at the very end. I didn't think it was necessary, but again, out of context, without seeing what they've been building up to.
Yeah. Okay. So, in case you don't remember, there was storyline with the three of them.
Yeah. Well, I know that the big one of my favorite things that Jericho ever did was where he started reading the list of his holds. You know, so I know that part between he and Malenko, and I loved that.
Yeah, I think there was a feud with him and Guerrera too, so that's why they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be weird. You're gonna be in the middle of them." But again, best match of the night. Three really great, strong talents. Next was the NWO Invitational Battle Royal. Here's how you know your pay-per-view is poop. When you put the world champion in a freaking battle royal, and it's not even the main event, and he's defending.
And he's the only one that's not part of a faction.
That's right. So we have the NWO Battle Royale. We have, let me see here. We have NWO Black and White, which was Scott Hall, Kurt Hennig, not Lex Luger, the Giant, Scott Norton. We then have NWO Wolfpack, which this is at the time where they're feuding with each other. Scott, which is Kevin Nash, Conan, Sting, and Luger. And then Goldberg joined in on the fun just for the hell of it.
And the world champion, Bill Goldberg. Now,
And
I will say this. Goldberg looked tremendous.
Oh, well, I mean, that's what they I mean, he was still undefeated at this time, too. They had
29-1, I think it was at that time.
Yeah, so the other thing, too, with this is it's like, make it a little bit believable. Like, if you got NWO Wolfpack and Black and White in there,
you'd have thrown his ass out
after each other first, or are they going to all just gang up on Goldberg? They're going to gang up on Goldberg.
It was real, yeah.
So,
trash.
It's just dumb. It was definitely just for the taglines, you know, just so they can all cut a promo and then you get to see Goldberg. But again, this is how you know your pay-per-view ain't doing that good. And it was only an 8-minute battle royal. WWE does a 30-man battle royal and it takes an hour of their show.
Yeah.
8 minutes for like 8 guys. Like, could have went a little longer, maybe. All right, here we go. Main event, tag team match. Diamond Dallas Page with Jay Leno and Kevin Eubanks versus Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff with the Disciple,
and Miss Elizabeth.
Miss Elizabeth looking all kinds of good. She
never aged.
Beautiful, beautiful woman. First crush ever. I gotta remember that.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Watching her come out with Macho Man, I'm like, who's that pretty lady?
I guess you're young.
I
guess you're young.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was a kid when he debuted with her.
My first crush was on Get Smart, 99, Agent 99, Barbara Feldon.
Nice.
You've never seen that show, have you?
I know the show. I've never seen it. I've seen the movie that they remade the show off of with Steve Carell.
Well, yeah, but she's not in that.
I know she's not, but
look it up when you go home.
Also not Miss Elizabeth. But anyways, this whole thing started because of
they were on the Tonight Show.
Well, but Bischoff was doing his own late show. Last call, or was it? I hope it wasn't, because that was
yeah, whatever it was.
And so like, yeah, they eventually end up on the Tonight Show, and Diamond Dallas Page gets involved somehow, and we end up with this match. And they kept saying that the challenge happened 1 or 2 weeks before the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So whatever. Now here's where I will say, like, WWE has done this. They've known to do this on WrestleMania stage and stuff. You bring a celebrity in, you have them in the match. I will give WWE the credit of they actually do try to make sure these celebrities who are getting in it know what they're getting themselves into. Correct. And try to train them to at least be able to do some basic things and make it look good.
Right.
Obviously, this did not happen when most of Jay Leno's offense was a armbar. But he sure put that pressure on the elbow to really
look at the Jesus.
It was bad. It was very the other thing is, watching this, you realize Jay Leno must have never thrown actual punch in his real life, because how do you go like this? Like, let me make sure I'm in the like,
now there's that part of it, and the other part of it is this. When you look at that matchup between them, and when you look at Hogan being in the ring next to Jay Leno, you say to yourself, well, they list him at 6'8", but if that's the case, goddamn Jay Leno must be 6'6".
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I that's always, it's like, yeah, I get it. You're gonna pop it up a little bit, but come on. Yeah, I mean, it was a circus.
It definitely was. I think they should have used Kevin Eubanks a little bit more, being like he was actually in shape and pretty jacked at the time.
Yeah.
He gave a pretty good stunner to Bischoff.
Yeah.
You got to give Hogan the credit for being able to be that hokey, over the top heel. Like, he was Leno was slamming Bischoff's head into the each post, and he's like, "You want that one? You want that?" And Hogan's just like, "No, don't do it, no more." Like, classic heel Hogan. And you got to love that a little bit, even
And I will say that, as I recall, I didn't, when I watched it when it was really on and live, I don't think I had as much problem with it as I do now. Because
we're watching it and being like, what?
I remember thinking this is ridiculous because that kind of he gave the clothesline of the way a girl throws.
Yeah, his punch was like a clothesline punch. It was weird.
Like a clothesline girl throw.
Yeah.
And I just let me back off so I can actually anyway.
It's like the other weird thing too is like DDP sold those punches and kicks from Bischoff pretty well. Yet then when Jay Leno gets in the ring, like Bischoff's begging for mercy. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like you were just kicking the shit out of DDP in the corner, but you're scared of this old guy who hosts a TV show with a giant chin.
Yep.
What the shit? Anyways, it wasn't. It was a gimmick thing. It was to try to bring a lot of eyes in who weren't familiar. And again, this was in 1998.
It was the third one that they did. Actually, I think the fourth one.
A few. They did four.
Because they did one before the NWO that was called Hog Wild.
Yep.
And so I think what happens is this. They had a history of going out there and doing it. They probably figured that doing it there was going to give them that cool factor. But the reality is that it was just a hokey bunch of crap, with the two exceptions that we talked about. So anyway.
It just, again, it wasn't good. It was
something.
Back then, though, the allure of, oh man, look at all the bikes. And
Definitely.
Sale.
And you recall, here's another thing too. You recall from time to time you'd hear a helicopter because they hired a helicopter to take aerial shots. This is testament to how much money Eric Bischoff was throwing down the toilet.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that. Well, how much do you think it costs to hire a helicopter to do that?
Oh yeah, especially in 98.
Yeah.
When like the technology isn't like today where you can just do that with a drone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all right, what are we doing? Out of 5, what do you give it?
I give it a 2.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with like a 1.8.
That's fair.
Just, again, the only really solid good match was Juventud Guerrera, Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I agree.
Again, no, this is writing on the wall. You can see this is the start of stuff that why 3 years later it was sold to WWE.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely.
It was still cool to watch. It's watch that era, watch the crowd to see what they were like. It always interests me, these shows at Sturgis too, because I mean, first of all, like how many people? 8,500 people there for this wrestling show at a bike rally. What's the percentage of those people in that 8,500? What's the percentage of how many of them have actually killed a man?
Probably 6%. And here's the other part. How many of them do you think that attended that show, the 8,500 people that went to the show, ever watch wrestling again?
No, not at all. Not at all. It's just
they were probably hammered, and they said, "Holy shit, wrestling!"
And I could ride my bike there and just hang out. Yeah,
they probably heard of Hulk Hogan. They knew who Jay Leno was.
Well, and they popped hard for Duggan.
Say again.
They popped hard for Jim Duggan too. So.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. He came in to make the save on somebody or one of those garbage. Oh, that's right.
Match.
All right. So, what will be our old school review next week, my friend?
I'm kind of feeling like we should hit some Attitude Era.
I'm with you.
It's been a little while. What we could do next week, we'll do a TLC. Actually, we'll do next week, we'll do TLC from the Target Center since we're going to it that week.
Oh yeah.
But let's just do a 2-week theme here. And you pick it. Let's watch either the 99 SummerSlam, which was live from the Target Center in Minneapolis, where we'll be in 2 weeks with TLC, or Bragging Rights 2010, again, at the Target Center. The big standout again, 99, is at a Attitude Era. Austin, Triple H, you got all that.
Well, now let me ask you this. Do you want to save that one for the following week? Because we have 2 weeks before the actual TLC. So what if we do Bragging Rights? And then
you still got to watch TLC from the Target Center.
Well, no, I know we do. So I guess what I'm saying is, do you want to save TLC from the Target Center until right before it?
Yeah. So not next week.
And then do Bragging. So next week we do Bragging Rights, and then the week after we do TLC. You want to do that?
Yeah, that, or like I said, we can also watch SummerSlam instead of Bragging Rights, which was also
you know what? We were both at SummerSlam. Let's do that.
SummerSlam 99, Attitude Era. It is Jesse Ventura. By rules go. That count's got to happen in the middle of that ring. And China, you tell them to get in line. That and you could forget the Al Snow and
I don't care about that.
It goes across the street into the bar.
Yeah, welcome to Minnesota, you people. We're here to wrestle. I want to talk to Vincent McMahon and make sure that I get paid by the state of Minnesota.
Oh, we're gonna have lots of that.
You know, it's really hard to do that with this mask on.
I bet.
I don't get to open my mouth nearly as much as I should have it open for
Yeah. So so if you want to watch along and get in on the chat for the old school Out of the Vault pay-per-view that we're gonna watch next week, 1999 SummerSlam from the Target Center.
And I will say this: we really do enjoy when folks watch and comment along with us, and we'll take any comment. All you got to do is pop it up there, and we will pop it right up here on the screen. And we would love to have you watch along with us and give us your comments as we comment. So if you'd like to do that with us, it will be SummerSlam from Minneapolis, 1999 next week on our old school review.
Yeah, man. And if they don't watch live, just subscribe though, so you get those alerts when we post and you can rewatch.
Absolutely. And for those of you that are watching now, we are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch.
Oh, there's more Dana Brooke and Dave Bautista tweets coming out.
You know what? I'm going to take my pants off and go read them when we get done.
Me too.
All right, folks. Anything going on for you this week?
No. Got a private DJ gig, so
well, it'll be fun.
You guys can't be there. Sorry. No, just watch for us again. Like we'll be at TLC in 2 weeks at the Target Center. I'll put some sort of shirt on so you guys can see us in the crowd. And I mean, you can't miss the mask comedian.
Of course not, because I'm going to go just like this, and I'm going to have. By the way, you can get a T-shirt that says "Mask Comedian Cast," just like our logo up there in the top corner. And we've got a link down in the comments. You can pop it and take a look at it. And they're not very expensive, I don't think.
That's what I'll have to do. I should get the hoodie before we go.
Yeah, you should. God dang it. You know, I mean, somebody's got to buy that stuff. Anyway, I will be doing comedy in La Crosse, Wisconsin this Friday night. And then Saturday and Sunday, from 10 until 6 both days, you can find me taking classes on how to de-ice airplanes. So that's also going to be private. You know, I mean,
hilarious. Someone outside your door. Hey man, what's up? Listen to your show this week. That's awesome. Dude, that'll be cool though. If anybody is in the La Crosse area, that's a fun town. So go check it out.
It's a great town. It's at a place called Moxie's. Not
John Moxley's.
No. Well, yeah, I guess it could be.
He's like running in the middle of your set.
Oh my God. So here's the thing. It's at Moxie's.
Oh, shout out to Adam Daly.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Adam Daly, of course. Is he here?
He's hand clapping for us, so that's always good.
Oh, see, you saw that. There he is. Hey Adam, I hope you're doing well, buddy. Yeah.
By the way, before we end the show, he brought this up, but a couple weeks ago, did you see the person who hacked that WWE 2K account?
Oh no, but I saw some of the crap they were doing with it.
Yeah, Adam was showing me that stuff. And if you don't know who Adam is, he was on one of our previous episodes, so check it out. And that stuff was gold.
Oh my god,
it was really good.
Perfect.
We'll have to post some of it.
Oh my gosh. All right. Other than that, my friend, you have a great week, and all you listening and watching, have a great week too. Hope to see you again soon. As soon as next week on Tuesday. We're live every Tuesday night right here on the Masked Comedian Xcast. And we will see you again next week. So long, everybody. I think. Come on. It's not working.